All right, guys, hope all is well. I'm just going to do a quick video about what I'm looking for next week. Couple nice setups, but I do want to wait and see a little bit more. Dollar, first of all, we have, as I said before, come into this last kind of daily demand, and we are kind of now pushing and start to give a lot of bullish momentum. We've been bullish now for what, 20, basically a month. So unless I actually see some sort of change in direction, I'm going to just kind of be looking for that. Do have a couple areas that I'm looking for. Obviously, I'm firstly waiting to see if this high is going to get manipulated or broken. I did think we were going to get those highs raided and then actually start coming back down, but I was wrong. That's fine. And we do have this tiny small 4-hour demand in here, which you can see we had that distribution. This is that breaker structure looking for the area that caused that. That's this breaker structure again, never actually tested that 4-hourly. So it'd be nice to see what kind of reactions we do get from there. Equally, if we just plummet through it, that's completely fine. What I am looking for, though, potentially going into next week, this kind of lines up negatively with other pairs, which is nice. I do want to see a pullback into this zone and then a continuation, at least up into this zone, so at least into 12,950. If we actually invert that, you can see across the board, you can see we've had that run, that breaker structure, looking for that test, and then that continuation lower, which you can see, especially on AUD USD, you can see it's exactly the same as kind of the same thing we're looking for if we invert it. Kind of looking for the same sort of thing on dollar, NZD USD. So you can see lines up quite nice. So with a potential pullback and bullish momentum, we should be looking for things opposite on the dollar. So AUD USD, I do think we could definitely probably go in and take out this low. And then as soon as we've taken out this low, maybe dig somewhere deeper into here. Because yes, this is our daily zone, but we do have a zone down here which is unmitigated. So very much well could see just some shorts from here. What I did want to see is I did want to see some sort of pullback up into this region here. But what could maybe is if we actually do confirm break this low, that means we could then have a pullback and then the continuation, or we just have a pullback and just run everything. So I'm going to be quite interested to see what happens on this pair. What I'm looking for though is we tested this really small 1-hour supply zone, which I'd mentioned before. This was created in the Asian session, generated a lot of liquidity. We ran it, we came back down, we broke structure. So now really just looking for a pullback. What we can see is we do have some highs up in here, which I definitely could see run before getting taken out again. Dropping on the 30-minute, we do have this really nice zone in here, so potentially see some reactions from here to go short. But obviously we are going to have to wait and see what happens going into next week. I do have a 30-minute zone, or you can make it just a little bit bigger into an hourly zone in here. In here. So very much well could see some sort of reactions from there, kind of lining up the same with that 4-hourly as well. So I do want to wait and see what happens in and around this zone. NZD/USD, kind of the same scenario. We've had more of a full breaker structure. We had that rated liquidity. Now I'm just waiting for a pullback. You can see my fib from my low to my high. Let me just map those out. So this is our low, this is our high, this is our lower low. So now I'm just waiting for a pullback, line up kind of within these fib levels, and then a continuation short. Let's go. Let me just hide that. 4-hour, you can see really nice, just looking for that straight pullback, lining up with that EMA, just really looking to follow this all the way lower. And I do want to be seeing if we can trade into a 12-hour zone, which is here, from here down to this low. That is our daily range, and you can see we're probably going to come in and test that. But if we pull out the 50% of this high and this low, you can see just this dotted line here, if you can see that, just here. That is our 50% of this zone. Again, we do have this zone up here, which I do want to see if we can get met, but I feel like we could probably get that if we do actually start breaking structures a lot lower. But for the time being, the here and now, I do want to see if we can get a pullback kind of similar to AU, kind of where that 30-minute zone is. If we can just get a pullback and then a short, and I would like to see if I can swing this for the week. Potentially we can go like Monday, Tuesday, and then going into like Wednesday, Thursday, we have that continuation lower. What day was this when this dropped? You can see Thursday, and then Friday we had that continuation. So I definitely do want to see what is going to happen with a lot of these pairs. So it's going to be quite interesting to see that. I want to see if I can do something really quick. I forgot what it is. Is it this one? No. This one. Cool. So you can see kind of just waiting for something like this to play out, even going into next week, just looking for that real nice continuation. So that's a new nice setup. Euro pound, I'm looking for bullish movements. We had a really nice reaction of this 1 hourly zone. I had my eye on this area for a while, and we just eventually tested it. Going into the Asian session, really nice test, and then a continuation lower. Did manage to get an opportunity off this zone. You can see we had that full breaker structure, just looking for a pullback. You can even fib this, I'm pretty sure. Simple fib, not really too much within the fib, but you can see lining up just with the open is what we want to see anyway. We did have that continuation short. Now I'm just waiting for a couple of zones. I'm waiting just for the maybe the 50% or even that 30-minute zone again to get taken out now. I want to see maybe going into next week, if we're going to have that pull up, that come down, and then that continuation higher and start taking out this Asian high. That's a scenario. We could pull down and then come up. That's a scenario in itself. We could again come up, break this zone, and then come up and take out this high. Or we could just break that zone and just continue higher and we take out this high. So there's a potential couple opportunities. I am looking for longs off this zone just because you can see this is our accumulation. We shifted structure. So this is going to be a nice zone for us to be buying from. And also I am wanting to see potentially off of this zone, we have a really nice 2 hourly zone down here as well. I am gonna have, or I do have some orders in, so I do want to wait and see if we are going to get any of these reacted from. So euro pound, potential nice setups on there. USD CAD, I am waiting for the bullish movements. We have a lot of imbalance in here, and we do even have some highs up here, which I do want to see if we can get tested. You can see this is our breaker structure in here. Well, let's go even higher. So we had this come up to this high, create the low, and then we're kind of just ranging within here. We did actually shift momentum bearish, so we can pull a fib. So price is actually in and around our fib levels for potential shorts, but I do think we could definitely dig up a little bit deeper into here. If not a little bit deeper, then especially just to take out this wick. We drop it on the hourly. No, where are we at? Okay, yeah, we can look for the hourly. So hourly, we rated these lows, we pushed higher, we came down. We didn't actually meet this level, but we just ran and continued higher. This was the zone technically that kind of invalidated here before we kind of had this halt. Price did come in and test that. We are shifting above highs. So what I really want to see is I want to see if price can give us a retracement. Really nice to see. And then that continuation higher. So I am looking for potentially off of this 30-minute zone, if we can actually scale this down into 15-minute, I'm sure. Yeah, so really nice 15-minute area down here. We had that test, we had that pullback, and what we were doing is we were just manipulating each one of these lows. This is our final one, and then we continued. So we've never had a test off here. Saying that, I do equally want to see what if this zone fails, then I do want to see if we can come down a bit deeper into here and then have that full run. So it is good, and you are allowed to look at more than one zone if it is within your plan. So I'm going to be waiting to see kind of what happens with these. So USD CAD, I'm waiting for shorts, longs, just up into this high. That's going to be a 1 to 5. And then I believe the second one is a 1 to 6. So really nice potentials on these. GBP CAD, not my favorite setups, if I'm going to be honest. I do want to wait and see kind of what happens with this a little bit more. We have been basically quite bullish for a while. This is our breaker structure. This is our low. This is our high. Waiting for anywhere within the 50% to get met. 50%, this is where we started getting, where we started accumulating again. We had this low shift. We generate liquidity. We ran breaker structure, invalidating supply. So I'm just waiting for the zone E, one of these two, that invalidated the supply, and then we can just have that continuation. But I'm going to be just doing some basic movements where you can pull a fib. Now the fib doesn't really line up with anything, and it doesn't always have to be fair. But I do definitely want to see some shorts down into maybe at least 170 flat. Let's see if I can go. No, I'm gonna have to change it. 170 flat. That's going to be a nice area for us to be trading from. And what you can also see as well, we do actually have this supply in here, which is going to be nice to see if we do get some sort of test from that area and region. We could maybe see some shorts down at least into this zone. That's going to be nice to see. We have, first of all, off a 5 minute, I think, yeah, so off this big 5 minute wick, or even failing that, we could literally just come up and test this high one more time. Whoops, that was a shocking line. We could come up one more time and then have that run, take out all of this Asian lows and things like that. And definitely first targets are going to be that 170,000. We had a 5 minute zone in here that got tested with this. Then we can drop it down again. And there was a 5 minute zone in here. And all of this on a 1 minute, it all been tested except for this little 5 minute zone in here. We ran up. We tested, boom, right in the 50%, testing that 5 minute zone. We broke structures, or we started shifting momentum. Price looked to pull back up again. We didn't meet it, and then we continued lower. So for me, I think we could potentially see some sort of zones that we can potentially look to take shorts from. Like I said, only into the 70,000. That's what I'm going to be looking for. Don't think the risk to reward on the first one is going to be too insane, to be honest. Where are we looking for? We're looking for kind of like a 1 to 3.5. Or equally, if you are looking to potentially trade off this other zone, probably just have about 15 pip on that. And then the shorts back down, and that's a 1 to 7. So some potential really nice opportunities that we could be looking to seize. If I was going to be trading this, I would definitely be having my stop loss just a little bit covering the entry to then actually take it out, because what we could see is price come up, literally just take that wick and then continue lower. And it's going to be kind of frustrating if you have your stop loss here, your other entry here, literally takes you out, doesn't enter you in the other one, and then you continue lower. It's happened to me before. So that's kind of why, like on Euro Pound, I don't mind having my stop loss down here to actually protect and continue going to the other zone. Just because if you're looking for an overall area, obviously, I mean, I'm not going to have like a 400 pip stop loss with my stop loss down here with another zone that it's covering. No. I'm still going to have it, which is going to be still beneficial for me. So even though this one's only a 1 to 3, that's okay. It's better than nothing. But the other one kind of comes back with kind of like that 1 to 4. So you're gaining another 0.5% or whatever you're risking per trade. So that's GBP CAD. Could very much well see some quite nice shorts from here and kind of just follow this momentum lower, at least into here. And you can see even on the 30-minute zone, that 7,000 cycle level lines up so nice with this imbalance here. So that's definitely for me going to be a target. So EuroCAD potential shorts, looking to potentially then go into a long, but for the time being, I'm just going to look for that tiny short, just because they do look like quite nice setups. What's that? 86 pips and 111 pips. Bitcoin, let's go daily, weekly. Let's go weekly. Bitcoin, obviously, you can see we've shifted momentum here. This is our supply. We broke structure. This is the supply we're looking for. That got invalidated. So now potentially you've been waiting for this zone or this weekly zone to get met. But for the here and now, what I am potentially seeing is I want to see maybe price come and trade back up into this 12 hourly zone here. We had this high rated, then we came in with that UTAD. We confirmed that breaker structure lower, but we didn't mitigate this zone. Now, we did kind of give some small mitigations from here, and there was a really nice 5-minute zone that I was looking for a trade last week, right off this guy in here. Got a nice test, basically at the 50%, and my target was this white line, which was this white line here, so that you can see with just that wick there, we actually did get that test, but that was a nice... Where are we at? A nice 1 to 4. So from there, obviously you can see we're generating a lot of liquidity. Couple of scenarios could play out. I mean, well, let's first talk about this. We had this low that got ran in the Asian. Then we had more equal lows that got generated. We had this last down move. I can move 50% of the high and the low. We came in, we tested once, we ran out that low one more time, came in and testing 50%. And if you know the 50% are where most of the orders are going to be stored within a supply demand range, which is why you do see sometimes the 50% get hit. Now, off of 4 hourly, we didn't break structures, definitely not, but we did actually start shifting above, and we do have this little zone here which did kind of get invalidated. So I do want to see if we can get a pullback one more time and actually start running out all of this and maybe start coming and filling in here. You can see on that 4 hour, we do have that zone still here. So even potential pullbacks to then continue, we could still happen. Unfortunately, we could maybe just run that low, because then that would kind of be a 1 to your third run on liquidity. But if we do, that's fine, because what we can do is when price does start shifting momentum, depending on if it's actually a break or rated liquidity, we could still actually get that move, i.e. like in this, where are we? In this situation here, I'm not really classing this as a breaker structure. That is for me kind of just more of a raid. But just because of the way price is moving with its more of the momentum and the halt, I do think we are actually accumulating to then actually come down and actually have a little bit more of a run, at least into 31 flat. That's going to be my major kind of hold zone that I'm going to be looking for. CAD in insane had a loss off of this zone here, and that's fine. It's just one of the many things that happens in trading, is what it is. So 4% loss in here. I am still really waiting for 15500 flat to get met, but equally doesn't really look like we're going to get that at the time being. We equally still could. We could still come up, generate more liquidity, have one more run, and then we actually moon, generating equal highs, mitigations, and then those continuations. So that is really all I'm waiting to see on CAD JPY. Nothing really that impressive. Silver, I'm waiting for either this low or this weekly zone to get met for the time being. Obviously, we are moving super bearish, looking to take out all of this. I'm looking for maybe a pullback into this potential hourly zone. I have mentioned this on a previous video, so potentially could see start of an accumulation. We pull up, and then we have that short continuation lower. So that is all I'm waiting for. Nothing really too impressive. The only real nice ones for me, NZD, USD, Euro, GBP, USD CAD, pound CADs, and Bitcoin. So obviously I'll do more videos in the week if things develop. But if you guys got any questions about any of these, please let me know. Feel free to fire away, and I will help everyone as much as I can. All right, guys. Bye.